Joined now by Lara Trump, Trump 2020 senior advisor and host of the Right View podcast. Lara, appreciate you being here.
You got it, Carl. Thanks for having me.
All right. So, look, I was on my show at 5 p.m. a little bit earlier today, and I said, look, I served with Ron DeSantis. I like the guy personally, and I defend him a little bit. I don't like necessarily all the attacks from DJT, but he's his own guy. Do you think there's room on this stage, though, for them to just boost each other up on policy?
Well, I think that we'll see a lot of that. I think, like you said, what the good news is for Donald Trump is that he is actually running on a proven track record as president of the United States. He is the only person on either side of the aisle who actually has done the job of president and done it successfully. And of course, I include Joe Biden in that, who is doing this job horribly right now, of course. But look, with Donald Trump, since the day he came down the golden escalators in Trump Tower, he has been unconventional. He has done things differently than anyone we have ever seen. This is nothing new for Donald Trump. He certainly has fire. He certainly has passion. And it's that fire and passion that gave us all of those great things you just, rattled off there. The great economy, the great standing on the world stage, secure borders, made sure that this country wasn't taken advantage of anymore by places like China, peace agreements in the Middle East, and on and on and on. And we remember the good old days with Donald Trump. And it will take fire and it will take passion to get this country back. Because, Carl, I think we all know we have no time to waste. We are on the verge of losing the United States of America. But certainly there will be a lot of policy discussion, and I'm sure it will be entertaining on the other side of things as well, as we all know.
No, absolutely. Look, the guy's got like a 30 to 50 point lead on everyone, depending on what poll you read. How does he start transitioning to a general?
Well, I think, look, we've been through general elections before. I think that we're going to see Donald Trump become the Republican nominee, because ultimately I think that his place right now in the party is so secure. And I think when you see someone who has over 50% of the vote, it becomes very hard to beat that person. So I think it will become Donald Trump. And then I think, look, it should be easy and smooth sailing into a presidential election for him, because all you have to do, Carl, is compare and contrast the disaster that has ensued over the past 2+ years with Joe Biden and the Democrats largely in charge of our government, and you talk about things as they used to be. So I think it's a win across the board, especially when you have 2 out of 3 people right now in America thinking that this country is ultimately on the wrong track. That does not bode well for Joe Biden. It begs for some new blood. It begs for somebody to come in who maybe has done this job before, done it well, and people want to see that happen.
I mean, Joe Biden is just the absolute worst right now. But the left, I mean, they go after anybody who puts America first. DeSantis, Trump, whatever. But once they always turn back to these old talking points. Listen to this.
Conservative Wall Street Journal editorial board speaking out, saying Trump won't win another national election.
I think Trump's unelectability will be palpable by then. We all know that he will lose.
What Trump is doing to win the primary voter and making himself increasingly unelectable.
I've said all along that Trump can't win again.
Some party elites insist that Trump can't win the election.
Yeah, Lara, I have the New York Post framed from 2016 with that picture of that woman going like this. It says, "They were all wrong." I have it framed in my office under a picture of me and him. I think it's actually really funny. Sounds pretty familiar. And if it was like a 5-point race between him and DeSantis, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. But it's like 50.
Yeah. I thought that those were actually sound bites you were going to say from 2015 and 2016, because it's literally, Carl, I know, the exact same thing. The truth is, these people are terrified of Donald Trump. They know that he exposed so many of them and so much of the swampy business that is conducted in Washington, D.C. the first time around. They are petrified of what they will see a second time around when the guardrails are off. There's no holding back. He now, as you said earlier, has skin in the game. He has been, absolutely targeted by all of our systems here, the justice system. It's really wild to see what's happening, and they're terrified to see him back in office. And the good he'll do for America and the way he'll expose all of them, that's what that's all about.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. Is there a non-zero chance, though, that they actually team up at some point and become like the mega ticket?
Crazier things have happened, Carl. I think we all know that. Look, I think that what we want right now is something that is going to bring this country back. I think there's no question Ron DeSantis has been a good governor here in my state of Florida. Mm-hmm. This is where I live now. And I think Donald Trump has proven he can be a great president. I would never say never, and I think ultimately we want people who are going to put this country first, bring us back, and if those two decide to team up, I think you'll have a lot of happy people, so I would never say never.
I would be very happy. Like I said, I love Ron DeSantis, but I also love DJT. So, Lara Trump, we appreciate you being here.
You got it. Thanks, Carl.